We're back. We are back. Welcome to 2026, Season 2 of the Cowboys TV podcast, episode number 29. And as always, the great Callan. Callan's calling is here. Hello, Callan. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, good, Nick. Very good. Very excited about the beginning of a year that's an even number.
Yes.
But
It's good to hear your bloody voice again.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, you too, brother. And just getting back to rugby league in general, mate.
Mate, the world's gone mad, but the one thing that the world has done is it's going to heal now because rugby league's back. So, there's a lot of bullshit that goes on in the real world, but I'm just glad we've got rugby league back on this weekend. Even though it's pre-season, I'm just excited to see some rugby league back on our TVs.
Yeah, that 17 name for the trial. Geez, mate, I'd be happy with that 17 every week.
I mean, as long as I have a crack, right? As long as I have a crack and they all play for each other, I'll be happy with it as well.
We could say that about every 17. We certainly didn't get that last year.
No, that's right.
When the season was over, the young bloke should have got a crack.
Yeah, I think when we were officially ruled out of finals last year when we played the Sharks down there in that torrential flood Shark Park, we should have started playing all the youngsters after that.
Yeah.
Not wrong. It's good to be back. It really is. It's good to be back. I've had 3 or 4 months off of not really doing much, so I'm just keen to get back into it. Get back into the podcast world. Get back into the Cowboys conversations, discussions, all that. I've been reading a lot of negativity about our club on social media in the last, probably 2 months, and I'm fed up with it. I've actually bitten my tongue on multiple occasions, and thought I'd save it for the podcast. So there's a lot to get into. Before we go any further, I want to say hello to everyone that's watching in the live chat right now. I hope you are all doing fantastic. Welcome back. If you're a regular viewer, cheers for always sticking around. If you're a new viewer, thank you. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And check out Callan's YouTube channel, Callan's Calling. Callan is actually going to Vegas when we play the Knights in round 1. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of content on Callan's channel for that. And so make sure you do subscribe to Callan's channel. And there will be some content that'll probably end up on the Instagram page. I'm pretty sure. While Callan's over there, we'll take a lot of videos. I'll put it on the Instagram page, and it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, no, very excited. I've got a new Insta 360 camera to take over there to give that a bit of a whirl.
Good timing.
No, I'm excited and extremely nervous, to be honest.
Yeah. No, it's going to be great. Hopefully we can get the win over there against the Knights. Won't be an easy game. They are last year's Wooden Spooners, so they'll have a lot to prove, and they have a new coach. So it won't be the easiest game round 1, but, we'll talk about that more when we get to it. But we might as well start off with the preseason trial, which is on Saturday. Preseason trial versus the Bulldogs down there at Cogra Oval, Australia Jubilee Stadium. I'm not attending. I've had multiple people ask me if I'm going to Sydney for the trial. I'm not. I could have, but I don't think it's worth traveling down for a trial. I just don't think it is. I might do a live stream, but we'll see what happens. Preseason games are a bit tricky.
It's a lot of expense for something that, at the end of the day, for me, I'm not a millionaire, so to be flying around. I'll only go to a trial if it's in Cairns.
Yeah. Look, I could have went to this, but I decided not to. I'm like, you know what? I'm better off saving my money for other trips that I'm doing later in the year. You know, going to Sydney multiple times. Got that New Zealand trip I'm going to in Christchurch in June. We play the Rabbitohs on my birthday in Townsville, May 24, on a Sunday arvo up there. So I'll be going to that. I'll be going to that one for sure. There's other games that I've locked in for the year, so probably not worth it.
Have you got accommodation booked for Townsville?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Or are you going to a few Townsville? Or?
Yeah, I've got a few locked in. I'm going to the first 2 in Townsville, round 3 and 4. I'm planning on doing the Cronulla game, which is the one before Anzac Day. I wasn't going to do the Manly game on a Thursday night, but I think I might be doing that one now. I wasn't going to because it's Thursday night, but I might be doing it. And then I think I was gonna do another one later in the year, like towards the end of the season. Maybe also the Parramatta game. We play Parramatta up there. There's a chance I could go to that as well. I'm just working it all.
Well, if you haven't any accommodation, you haven't got booked. We've got 2-bedroom accommodation all booked for the whole year.
Oh, sounds bloody fantastic. What's it called? Bloody. Yeah, so I'm doing about five or 6 Townsville games this year, so should be good. More games up north.
We're a bit ripped off this year. We got hardly any Saturday games.
Yeah, they kind
5 games, I think.
The fucking draw, man. They gave us some weird time slots. They gave us like a Sunday night game against, I think, the Titans. So Saturday games at home, we got round 4 against Melbourne. Our next Saturday game after that in Townsville isn't until round 14, and that's against the Dolphins. Round 17 against Penrith. Round 21 against Brisbane. Round 26 and round 27. So we got 6 games, I think, on Saturday night, but only one of them are in the first 12 rounds.
Yeah, right.
Round 4, round 14, round 4, round 14, round 21, round 26 and 27.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Bit weird how they've done it this year.
Yeah, it's a bloody annoying, like, especially for us. You know, it's hard. Like, most of us travel a long way, and it's a sort of a route that it's a lot easier to drive.
Yeah.
You know, the flights are always very expensive to fly to Townsville for some reason. So, and then there's always more than one of me. So, 2 in one car. Well, that's a lot cheaper than 2 flights.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, so hopefully the schedule works out for us, but they've got some weird time slots this year. Like, for example, that game against the Titans at our first home game in round 3, I was looking at it. I might even fly in on the day, like Sunday morning, go to the game. The game will, because the game's at 5:15 Queensland time, it'll be all done by 7:30. I was thinking about flying back to Brisbane that same night. There's a flight there's a flight that same night at like 9 o'clock. I'll see you, mate.
I'm not sure if I've got accommodation booked for that because there's a couple that I'm thinking about just driving home after it.
Yeah, I think that Titans game, our first home game, that might be one where I just decide to fly in, fly out, and then go from there, sort of thing. It's a bit tricky how it's how it's been scheduled. Well, let's talk about the preseason game this weekend. We take on the Bulldogs Saturday, 5:30 out at Jubilee, Cogger Oval, as I like to call it. Obviously, it's a 4:30 kick-off for everyone up in Queensland. 5:30 for me here in New South Wales. What do you think about this game, Callan? We're actually odds-on favourite to win. They've got us at $1.20 this weekend.
Well, some smart ass doesn't want to put any money on it, but he reckons that the Bulldogs are going to put 50 on us. And I think it's just that, like when they keep writing us off, like it annoys me too, but it usually means we're going to do well.
Yeah.
It's like I said to you, everyone at work writing us off, we'd always win, Please write us off.
Yeah, I've been hearing it all fucking week. The Bulldogs haven't named anybody of, quality-wise. They've got all kids. Like, they've got a couple of first graders. I think the Bulldogs have named probably 4 first graders in their side this weekend. Daniel Saluga for feeder, Samuel Hughes, Gordon Cham-Kum-Tong, and Fletcher Baker maybe, and Jonathan Sewer. They've probably got like 5 guys that are like first graders. And to be honest, the Bulldogs have only named 2 guys that will probably be in their best 17. So they've named a lot of kids this weekend. A lot of kids. Now, having a look at our team, I'll go through it, 1 to 17. We got the young fullback, Mason Barber at fullback. He's getting a go there. Robert Derby, Jackson Paulo on the wings. Zach Labart and Liam Sutton are in the centres. Jackson Purdue and Jay Clifford are in the halves. Harrison Edwards and Thomas McKaylee, who's been named captain. So good luck to Thomas McKaylee, captain this weekend. Xavier Kurzik will be the hooker. Helam Lukey and Kai O'Donnell will be the back row. Sam McIntyre will be the lock. And on the bench, we've got Zach Hertigan, who's a young halfback. Caden Lars, Mason Kira, who's a back row / lock. And Matthew Watts. And in the reserves, all these guys will probably see minutes in the second half. Now, I've got to try and pronounce his name, so my apologies if I get it wrong. Crescendence Toya, Ronald Fatolga, who's a young winger, Maddox Goodwin, Warumi Greg, who was at the club originally, went to Parramatta. Now he's back on a train and trial deal. So he's a big guy, Warumi Greg. Tyler Morotti, Joseph Doyle, Isaiah Latu, Mitchell Prest, and Atizai James. All right. What do you think about that squad, Callan?
Yeah, no, I reckon that, all our, like I said, if that's what all our team was, we didn't know about Tom Deard and all that. It's great that's, we've got them great players to come in, but that's some great young talent. I don't know anything about a lot of those guys that haven't played NRL, but if is Mason Barber related to Ben Barber?
I have no idea. I don't think so, but I've heard a lot of high things about Mason Barber.
What's he look like? Because he's from Mackay, isn't he?
I don't want to bring race into it, but I think he's a white fella.
Oh, is he?
I'll have a look. I've seen a few highlights. I'm pretty sure he's a white fella. Let me have a look here. Mason Barber. Let's have a look here. Yeah, he's literally he's a white fella. It looks all right. I was watching some highlights of him the other day, and that young winger Ronald Fatolga. I got big raps on this young kid who's a winger. He's number 19, so he'll probably come on second half and have a run.
Yep.
Now, I was listening to what Todd Payton had to say about the squad the other day. He did mention that Liam Sutton, who's a 5'8" / halfback, he's playing in the centres, but in the second half, he will play in the halves. So he's going to play a few positions in this trial just to see how he goes. So he'll play in the halves in the second half. So I'm assuming Purdue and Clifford are only going to play one half of footy. And then Liam Sutton and Zach Hurdigan will probably play halfback or 5'8" halfback in the second half. But it's a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity for some of these other guys who are trying to get in the side, like Robert Derby. He's trying to get that wing spot off Braden Burns, and
I can't understand why Purdue's not playing halfback. If he wants him to be, because he probably won't be playing the second trial, you wouldn't think.
Well, I believe we're playing a full team next week. So we have a trial.
You mean?
Yeah. So our round 1 team will probably be playing next week against Penrith up in Mackay, and then the boys head over to Vegas. I thought the boys were heading to Vegas next Wednesday or Thursday, but I believe it's the weekend after. I think they're going after the trial. So we play the trial next Friday night at Mackay, and I think the boys head to Vegas on Monday or Tuesday after that. I got to find out for sure. I know I'm trying to remember what date it was, but I've got it written down somewhere. But like Robert Derby playing on the wing this week, like it's good for him because it's between him and Braden Burns probably for that wing spot on who's going to get it. So good competition there. Zach Labour, I think, is going to start round 1 because there's a few injuries. Viley is injured. Chester's injured, but they reckon he'll be right for Vegas. I heard Peyton say that the other day. And the other young bloke that we got from the Dolphins, James Walsh, who's a back row centre, he's going to be out probably all year now, most of the year. So I think Labart's a walk-up starter round 1.
To me, like if you like Purdue's not even going to get a trial at halfback, if that's what they want him to do. Wouldn't it have been better to, unless they're going to play sort of reverse roles?
It seems like that. Because I'm going to assume Clifford.
Let Clifford be dominant and then let Purdue be dominant.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I think they'll share the role. And then next week, they'll probably go Dearden Purdue against Penrith. I imagine they would. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they're doing because I think Purdue's going to play 7 this year. That's what all the talk is. But me and you both know, like we've seen it in person. We're a better team with Dearden and Clifford. We score more points.
Like if this was last year and we were having this conversation, I like when they trialled it.
Yeah.
I was unhappy for Clifford, but
yeah,
I said, I'm all for it. Let's give it a go. It didn't work.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
But what astounds me, like I said, in a normal situation, this would be a great thing to do. But if I'm the coach and my ass is on the line, like I don't know if I want to be making a mad gamble. He must have a lot of belief in this bloke.
Yeah, he must. He's got to. Because like all the talk is Dearden and Purdue is going to be the halves in round 1 and probably most of the season, unless there's a few injuries that happen, and then Clifford gets a run. But from what I understand, it's going to be Dearden and Purdue all year, unless things get in the way. That's obviously what the plan is. But
like if we have fucking 5, 6, 5 wins out of 7 rounds,
yeah,
mate, I'll say it works and I will never fucking whinge about it again. But if we're losing 5 out of 7, you can't tell me you've already saying, it's going to be he's there for the season.
Yeah.
Like, even if we lose.
That's right. And look, we'll get into it soon with the draw and stuff, but we've got a fairly favourable draw, like the first 3 or 4 games. Like, it's favourable for us. So if it's not working by round 3, what, he's going to put him back in the centres. Clifford comes in, and then we're going to be relying on Clifford to save us again, like last year. How?
Well, like, hang about, bro. You know, like, you keep going on about Clifford being the saviour. Like, it's Dearden, mate.
Yeah, Dearden's,
You know,
yeah.
like, do you talk about who's outside of Cleary?
No one does.
That's right. Is it up to him is it gonna take them to a grand final? No.
No, that's right.
Who's gonna take us to a grand final? Is fucking Tom Dearden, mate.
It's Tom Dearden.
Clifford does his job and Dearden does the bloody magic, mate.
I still remember last year, like first 3 games, I think we had Duffy for the first 2. And I think Clifford came in, round 3 or round 4? I think it was round 3. And then we won 3 in a row from round 4 to round, what round was it? Round 8 or 9 or something. It's like we really put pressure on Clifford last year, him coming in and clicking with the team. And then we made that ridiculous gamble mid-year. But this is my concern, Callan, and I think everyone's feeling the same way. I'm worried that we're going to have Dearden Purdue for the first month of the season, and we might start 2 wins and 2 losses. Todd starts freaking out because his job's on the line. He decides to bring Clifford in, which is great. We might start winning games because that combination, the winning percentage of it is very strong. And then we get to fucking round 10 and Todd's record is 5-5. We could be sitting 8th on the ladder. And then we get to round 15 and then I'm going to put Purdue and Dearden back together. Like, we just need to fucking have whatever our halves is in round 1, we need to make sure that's our halves most of the year. Because if we keep swapping and changing,
surely, if he gets to that safe spot, surely there's got to be a conversation like, look, man, you can't just go and, you know, because you've gotten to this place, you know, I'd be saying if you go and do something stupid, your job's still not safe.
Yeah, that's right. I just hope that, you know, if Dearden and Purdue is the round 1 halves pairing and we win for, 3 games of our first 7, I'm happy to leave the halves as it is. Don't fuck with it. If we're winning, leave it alone. If we're not winning,
win 3 out of 7.
So if we're, I don't know, what's our fuck? What we got? All right, if we win 4 games and lose 2 or something, we're going into round 7, round 8. If our record's 4-2 or something or whatever, I wouldn't change shit. I'd leave it alone. No, but if we're 5-5 or 5-6 or 6-7, I'd be going, all right, what are we doing here? What's the plan? What are we doing? Because we can't be changing it every fucking week like last year. It just can't happen. It can't happen. Right. But it looks like Purdue's going to get the first opportunity. Fair enough, whatever. See how he goes. But there's a lot of pressure on him. Like, a lot of pressure.
At the end of the day, man, I don't want to sound like I want the Cowboys to lose. Like, I'd rather Peyton keep his job, mate, and I really think he's not that good for our club. One up, one down, one up with the squad we got. I was listening to that journeyman, James Maloney, and it was an old one where I think not long after he got sacked, and they were saying, like the win ratio after he'd left, he had a bit of a chuckle because he's, being a funny bugger, but look what happened when I left, it was disappointing for him to go. He was doing something good with us.
Yeah, he was. He was doing a really good job.
And that's not, because if Peyton's a guy that brings in a bloke like him, you've got to give credit to Peyton. Yeah. And then if it's the board that sacks him, well, then you've got to put shit on the board, because just being a little bit over the limit.
Well, we spoke about this off air, like in the off season. We were both very surprised that Todd was, Todd's kept his job. I was worried that he was going to get sacked, like in November, early December. I'm like, they might sack him. It all depends, I guess. The board's been very patient with Todd. And I think the club was like, because Todd's off contract this year, it's going to be interesting what they do. Like, are they going to make a decision on Todd's future before round one, or are they going to make a decision on his future Magic round? Okay, we're going to probably let you go at the end of the year, or we're going to give you one more year.
So what do you think? Where do you think we have to finish for Todd to keep his job?
I think we have to make the 8. I think if we come anything lower than 8th, he's probably gone. But you're saying in the green room, if he came 9th, you'd give him another go, would you?
Yeah, situations and if we were a lock ahead and we had the terrible, defense again, if we were a lock ahead and we'd been competitive, because that's to me, mate. You and me, we love going to the game. Yeah. I don't mind a loss if we're competitive, but it's the way we've lost. And it's like when you just want to run home, that's
how many games last year did we fucking concede 5 tries? Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Too many.
So, but yeah, I'm like, and that's the thing, which is going to be, like you say, panic stations on him. It doesn't, sacking a coach mid-year never ends well, but
I hope we don't do that.
To me, like the way they're looking at it, like 7th, 8th with a bad, defense. I wonder what their golden sort of, if we're going to renew him, and then how long they renew him for?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting. But I'll tell you one thing. I don't want him to get sacked mid-season. That'll just ruin us. Like, if we sacked him at Magic round, finals, you can just write off finals there and there, because it never goes well. I think there was one year, I think it might have been 2019 or 2020. I think the Sharks sacked their coach or whatever it was, and I think Josh Hannay was the interim coach, and they just held on to a top 8 spot. But that's the only time it's happened in I
think Penrith made the 8th when they sacked Griffin, didn't they?
Yeah, but at the time there was 3 rounds until finals, and Penrith were coming 4th, and they sacked Griffin right there and there. Yeah. It made no sense. I still don't understand it. But if we get to round 10, round 12, and Todd gets sacked, finals is just a write-off there, I reckon. You can't expect.
That's what I mean. If we're 9, 10, lock ahead with a bunch of other teams.
Yeah, and we're unlucky.
Okay, don't renew him, but probably not going to get anyone better going to come in. Who's going to make anything magic.
If we come 9th or 10th and we miss finals by 1 game or 1 point, again, probably a bit unlucky, but do you give him another year because he's off contract? There's going to be some difficult conversations, and I think as the year goes on, but that's the problem with this off season for us. Everyone's writing us off. Everyone's saying we're going to come bottom 4. I haven't heard this much negativity about us going into a season since probably 2022, and if people want to write us off and say bottom 4, go right ahead. You'll be wrong. And I'll tell you right now, you'll be wrong. We're going to finish probably inside the top 8, I reckon.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to finish bottom. That's for sure. We're not. I don't think we'll finish anywhere near the bottom, to be honest.
Do people, with all due respect to these other clubs, but do people really think the Dragons, the Knights, Titans, Tigers are going to do better than us? That's crazy talk to me.
I think I actually think the Knights will finish close to us.
Do you?
This year? I reckon they'll be just outside the 8. I reckon.
Wow. I think I've got Knights
at the bottom. I think or
second last.
Second last. Yeah, I think they're going to finish way higher than that.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. I've actually got Dragons for the wooden spoon. I think they're going to have a disastrous year, but I guess you never know. It's one of them years because last year, we all said Canberra would be bottom 4 and they come first.
Yeah,
we just don't know what's going to happen. All these young kids come through every club system, and some young kids are just prime for it, and they come into the NRL and they just go bang. You just never know what's going to happen.
Well, that mole's got Canberra with the one that's done us at the bottom. Yeah. They've got Canberra at 9 or 10, and they've got Parramatta at 6. So, if you get angry with someone predicting a ladder like that, mate, it's like getting a child to go and get a crayon and say, what do you think the top buddy, and then getting angry at the child for getting it wrong. I reckon that's computer generated, mate. I don't reckon there's a logical human being has sat there and really thought this is going to happen.
I think best way to come back to all these people that think we're going to go bad, just hold on to those receipts, and if we do well, we can just shove it in their face later on.
No one's given me I've asked anyone to put a bet on, and no one, as soon as I say how much money you want to put on it. Yeah. Well, that one that I said I'll put 10K on it.
Yeah, I saw that. I put 10K on it.
I hope he doesn't say yes.
And then we get to round 12, we sack the coach, and we're in all sorts. Oh.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, fuck.
No, I'd never gamble money like that. I just say shit like that for the shock.
Yeah, shock them all.
And it sees how real are they? As soon as you sort of get someone to put something up for their decision, there's going to be a consequence. Anyone will say anything, especially when someone's got a platform.
Yeah, no, 100%. All right. Now, there's some news that I was actually very shocked by. I don't know what your opinion on this is, but they have cleared Matt Lodge to play in Vegas. I was shocked hearing this. I thought for sure they would deny Lodge to go over to Vegas, but they've cleared him. He's been given the green light. I'm surprised he's allowed to play in Vegas. What's your take on this?
Well, I'll tell you what. I posted this in the chat, in one of the chats, and I said, I shook his hand. I welcomed him at the thing. I wasn't that happy that he was coming. He's here. Accept it. He's got our colours on, so I've got to support him. And I said right to his face, I said, I heard you going to rip in. And he goes, yeah. And I said, that's all we want, brother. And I said, welcome to the Cowboys. And I shook his hand. If he's, from what I hear, he's trying to be a better person, but what I'm sort of angry about, if you or me done what he did, we probably would not get back into the United States.
Oh, not a chance. No.
That's what makes me angry.
Yeah.
But
there's
okay,
no way.
it's we're probably going to need him. So
yeah, no. Look, when we first signed Lodge, I was keen on it, to be honest. I was like, you know what, we're going to need someone to come off the bench with some aggression. It definitely came as a surprise, but once again, another Isaac Moses signing. No surprise there. He seems to have a good relationship with our club. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing with Isaac.
Well, we'll see how, so far, he hasn't brought anything that's delivered anything good enough.
That's true. When we signed Bateman, everyone thought he was going to give away, 10 penalties. You get suspended, get sent off.
Well, he has cost us games.
Yeah, he's done some stupid things.
And a game I asked you to review, like every try that fucking he had an involvement. He was either wasn't either in his spot, didn't get back to his spot quick enough and left a hole, or he dropped off a tackle. But every tackle, every try had something to do with him.
Yeah. No, you're right. But it's going to be interesting to see what role he plays this year, because Hillam Lukey's back. I'm sure he'll be starting. When Jeremiah returns, he'll be starting. So I don't know where John Bateman fits into it. Maybe on the bench. I don't know.
Well, I think he would be a good bench player.
He could be a good bench player.
Come out in his burst. He's got that bit of awkwardness about him. But to me, being in that 80-minute line, it's not always so much about his bad tackling, but it's a lot of bad decisions, man.
Yeah. No, he gets caught out a bit. He gets caught out. I watched some highlights the other night of all of our tries that we scored this season last year. And I think Bateman only scored one try last year. And that's, to be honest, that's pretty shit for a back rower to score one try for the whole year.
Yeah, the more the better, but I'd be more happy if we were talking about him never letting any in and he only scored one. I'd be I'd be sticking up for him, but only scoring one and not that, and not stopping, it's not. Yeah. It's not positives.
I think we've got other guys coming through, like that young James Walsh fella. I'm actually devastated that he's injured and he's probably going to be out most of the year, because I reckon he could have taken his spot.
Is the 6-man roster been the six-man?
6-man, yes. Confirmed today.
Well, blokes like Bateman, Clifford may end up on the bench.
Be handy.
Well,
if something happens during a game, it'd be fucking handy. If the Cowboys are playing and say Drinkwater has a small injury, Tom Chester could come straight on if he's on the bench.
Yeah.
Or, we could bring on, say, Robert Derby, and we could just move Purdue to fullback or something and put Burns at center, Derby goes to the wing, and it's all good. Happy days, play on.
Yeah. Well, you probably want a center, a half, and a second row. Forward. You're obviously going to have, a bunch of front rowers there.
I'm with you. I'd go, stupid computer. I would go 3 front rowers, 1 hooker maybe, an outside back, and then probably someone who can play all over the place, like a utility.
Yeah.
For example, an ideal 6-man bench, you're probably thinking like Cohen Hess, Harrison Edwards, Thomas McKaylee. They're probably your 3 middle forwards for the bench. then I'm probably thinking maybe a Kai O'Donnell as a back row option for the bench, Tom Chester, who can play anywhere, and then probably Jay Clifford.
Yeah.
That's what I would think. Because Chester can play anywhere in the back line. Clifford's a half.
Well, Clifford can play anywhere too. Like he played fullback in England.
He did for a little bit.
He can play 5'8", halfback, hooker.
He could play a bit of hooker, I reckon. He could.
Yeah. If we had to, you would. Because you don't always get one injury. When you get that, when you don't have that half or that, and you lose a centre. Like how many times have we lost centres and that reshuffle, and then you lose someone else? Like it's all over.
The other thing I like about it, Callan, is we could be 60 minutes into a game, and we're down 20 points to 14, and we're just struggling to score a try. Our attack's off. We could have one or two interchanges left with 20 minutes to go. Todd goes, all right, Clifford, you're on at half. Purdue, you go to center, and then Viliami Vaialia goes to the bench. Next minute, we score 2 tries because we've changed what we're doing. That could be something that could happen during the season.
And the scorer's kick too, is that happening?
The what?
Scorer's kick.
Oh no, the kickoff rule. No, they completely got rid of it. Not happening.
Oh, did they?
Thank God. I was worried about that. I was worried about it, but they're not doing it. So it's just.
I was actually thinking I didn't like it, but I think it would have been good for the Cowboys.
Yeah, maybe. You never know, I guess. But yeah. So there could be a game where we're down by a try. Our attack's a bit off. Clifford comes on into the halves. Purdue goes back to center. All of a sudden, we start scoring tries and things are going well. That could happen during the year.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. I love this new 6-man bench. It will suck for the 2 players that don't get on, but I think it's a smart thing.
As long as the blokes who don't play end up getting some game time, I'd hate to see, just say, Bateman and Clifford sitting on the bench and don't get a game. I'd hate for them to be sitting there next week, and be potentially not getting a game again.
I mean, for example, we play Melbourne, say round 4 in Townsville. If Jay Clifford and Kai O'Donnell don't get a run, I hope they play Queensland Cup the next day, and then that way they've still got their match fitness. They're still playing footy on the weekend. I'm with you.
Yeah, the problem is Queensland Cup doesn't always fall like that.
Yeah, true.
Because depending where we play, the Cup could be, because it could be 3 blokes playing in 3 different fucking feeder sides too.
Well, I remember when we played the Roosters down in Sydney in 2024, and we had Purdue in the squad when he debuted. He was in I think he was in Mackay or he was in Cairns somewhere. Todd literally rang him and said, mate, we need you to debut tomorrow or whatever it was. The club flew him and his family from Mackay or Cairns straight down to Sydney, and we played the Roosters and he debuted that day, the next day. We're probably going to see a lot more of that now. If a guy doesn't play because of the interchange, you might have to fly them straight up to Cairns or Mackay the next day for Queensland Cup. You might just have to fly them in quick, something like that. That'll probably happen quite a lot.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes the games before.
Yeah, true.
So it might be a Saturday Q Cup, Sunday NRL. So
yeah, or it could be the same day.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. When they can, that would be the preferred situation. At least these times are getting game time. Yeah,
exactly right. If someone doesn't get a chance to play and they have a Q Cup game the next day at midday, maybe the club will just fly him out quick. All right, you're not going to play in NRL. You play Q Cup tomorrow. We're going to fly you out quickly. That could happen.
Yeah.
It probably will happen during the year. I'm sure it will.
I don't think it'll happen that much, to be honest, because there's a lot more importance to swing them from, that emergency, quick get them to. But I can't see an emergency, quick get them back to Q Cup,
Yeah. No, that's right.
When it's practical, I'd say they'll do it, but I can't see them, hiring jets to get Clifford to Cairns to play for.
Like quick! You have to get to the airport and fly to Cairns. You have to hop on the big Qantas plane. It leaves in half an hour. Hurry up!
You got to do it the way Callan does it. You got to go via Melbourne.
Mackay, you got to go from fucking Cairns to Melbourne, Melbourne to Perth, back to fucking.
By the time you get there, it'll be time to turn around and come home.
Oh shit! All right, let's talk about what our best 1-17 looks like for round 1 in Vegas. Obviously, a couple of trial games. Obviously, we have a trial game this week against the Dogs, and we have another one against Penrith next week. Have you got a fair idea on what you think our 17 will be in round 1? We do have a couple of injuries to look out for.
Who's
got an idea on what you think the 17 will be?
Who's injured out of the centres?
So Viley is injured.
Oh, right.
Griffin Neems 50-50 for Vegas.
So
and Nanai's
when does he get back?
Hey?
When does Viley get back?
He won't be ready for Vegas, from what I understand. Neem is 50-50, and Nanai definitely out for Vegas.
Yeah, I'd have Drinky fullback.
Yeah.
Burns. Murray's not ready, is he? Is he fit?
No, he's good. He's good to go, apparently.
Oh, yeah, Murray.
Yeah.
I'd have Purdue. If it was my pick, Purdue, Labour.
Yeah.
What Peyton might do, Chester in the centre, Purdue in 5'8", and then Lodge, Marnie, Jason.
Then you got Lukey probably.
Lukey, and you said
Nanai's out.
Nanai's out. Ooh, let's see. I'd have to watch the trial. I reckon who'd be out of Kai O'Donnell, because if he goes well in the trial, I'd put him in there. And
Ruben Cotter at 13.
Ruben Cotter, Sam McIntyre, Griffin Neem if he's right,
Hess.
McKaylee, Hess,
Hess and Edwards probably on the bench.
And then if it's that 6-man, well, you get, like we said, it'd be Clifford, maybe Bateman.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, I think what I'd do for round 1, and I think the way they've been training, I think how I would go about it, I think your Drinkwater will be the fullback. I'd actually go Derby and Talangi on the wings. I'd give Derby a crack. I think the centers. I think it's going to be Zach Laybard and Tom Chester. That's what it looks like at this stage. I think Dearden will be 6. Purdue will be 7. I believe that's the way they're going to go for round 1. I think Neem's probably not going to play, so I'd probably start Cohen Hess in the front row with Tamalolo in the front row as well. Marnie at hooker Lukey will be one back row if he's fit. He should be ready. He should be good for round one. No, no Nanai. So look, they probably go Bateman just because of experience, but I imagine it'll be Bateman and Lukey round one. Cotter will be 13, and then the 6-man bench. I think it'll be McIntyre, Edwards, McHaley, Kai O'Donnell, Jake Clifford probably on the bench as well. And then that 6th man is probably Braden Burns.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like they're going to do. That's what it looks like. I don't mind the idea of Tom Chester at center. Apparently he's been killing it from what I've been told. He's been killing it. It's good to see.
He's a nice bloke. He's a bloody bit of a larrikin. They've got a
he's a
channel.
The fishing.
Yeah.
I've seen a bit of it.
Outlanders.
I've seen it on Instagram. I've seen Harrison post about it and Derby and Chester. I've seen them post about it.
Yeah, because Chester hit me up. Are you following us? And I said, no, not yet.
Not
I
yet.
am now. I've only got about 6 videos.
Is that all I've got?
Yeah.
Come on, boys. We need some more
just
content.
Them fishing. It's good value, but
need some more content.
Yeah. At least we know what they're doing, mate, with their spare time, training.
They're having a bit of fun, which is good.
Training.
All right. What are your 2026 Cowboys expectations? Are you expecting a finals berth this season? Do you think we go to shit? How do you think our season's going to go?
Well, I honestly think we're going to be fighting to make the 8. I wouldn't be surprised if we finish 9th, but between 7th and 9th, from where we've come, what we've done, that would be, I wouldn't be happy, but I would be a lot less upset than, the previous year. But if we can come in 7th, but like we're talking about before, these drastic changes, if this doesn't, if that doesn't, everything's against, just like I was saying in the green room, no one's won the grand final that's played in Vegas.
That's true.
And we're not exactly, we come 12th. Our defense has been terrible. We've got so much to work on in a realistic sense of so if we could tighten that up and be competitive the whole year, I'll be a happy man. Like I said, going to a lot of games, it gets pretty disheartening when you get belted. So if the boys can turn up every week and be competitive and win a lot more than we lose, I'll be happy. So if, like I said, if we just fall out, obviously, I won't be happy because it's less football I get to be interested in at the end of the year. So, I'll be hoping for 7th. I'll and me saying 9th, because you've never ever heard me ever say anything like that in the history of the Cowboys. So there's a good chance we'll be in the 8th.
Well, the thing that everyone forgets, like last year we come what, 12th? We come 12th last year, and we had the second worst defense in the comp. Last year, we missed the 8 by 7 points, which is what, 3 wins and a draw. So if we can get our defense to improve, win 3 or 4 extra games, play better, defend better, we should make the top 8. We really should. And if you have a look at the Todd Payton pattern that I've been trying to tell everyone, it's actually quite funny how this has worked out. So Todd Payton in 2021, shit. 22, top 8. 23, shit. 24, top 8. 25, shit. 26 should be top 8.
But you know what? You know what's happening to this pattern?
What's that?
22. Where'd we finish?
Third.
20. So 24.
5th.
So yeah, this year will be 7th.
Well, I said we'll come 7th in my latter predictions.
We're slow, but the problem is, even the bad year, the good year, we're getting worse, and the bad year, we're getting worse.
We're so hard to get a read on, aren't we? Like, we're literally... I used to think the Warriors were the most unpredictable team in the whole comp. I used to think they were the most hard team to get a read on. I think we're very close to the Warriors in terms of unpredictability. When it comes to the Cowboys, you don't know what you're going to get sometimes. You really don't know what you're going to get. Like, we're so unpredictable. We really are. So
I think
it's, you know.
I think Warriors are our twin, mate, because they're exactly the same. They've got almost an international side.
Yeah.
From the get-go, and even us, like, we had those bad years where we weren't getting the quality players, like, because even our young guys, we weren't keeping them. So it took a few years before we started getting some genuine signings. But we've been a pretty team that's been full of Origin international players. We've had New Zealand internationals. We've had one year there we had more players in the World. We did win the grand final that year, admittedly, but the World Cup, we had more players in the World Cup than any team in the competition.
Yeah.
So we've got, to me, and this is what my thing about Peyton is. I don't dislike Peyton, but to me, there's got to be like a disharmony for this, up and down. So hopefully we can, whatever's going on, they sort it out, or they just fucking get rid of him, mate,
Yeah. Sort it out. Hopefully we have a good season. I expect finals, nothing less, to be honest. Nothing less. Finals, or who knows? Like, that's my expectation is finals, nothing less. But we'll see how we go. Now, before we go, 3 players to keep an eye on in the trial game on Saturday. I've got to get my list up here. But is there anyone that we should keep an eye on for this week's trial game, Callan? Anyone that you saw in the squad where you're like, should keep an eye on him? He's got huge potential.
Yeah, to be honest, I just looked at that squad the other day and haven't looked at, like I said, a lot of the guys I don't recognise their names. So, not really. The guy I'm really interested in too, he's already one of our guys, is our captain, mate.
McKaylee.
Big McKaylee. I think given putting the C beside him, because like when I said to you, when I asked him, mate, about game time, and he was angry, like he fucking wasn't happy that he's not getting enough game time. And, because I've heard some of them say to me, I was gassed. And that's what I was waiting for him to turn and go, I was gassed. No, not like, give me more fucking time. He didn't say it like that, but, that's, like, give me that ball.
Well, I heard Peyton talk about McKaylee being named captain for the trial game this week, and Peyton pretty much said McKaylee's in the best shape of his career. He's lost a bit of weight, and he looks fitter than ever. And he's added some leadership qualities in the preseason as well, so working his ass off. So I think McKaylee's going to get more minutes this year based off how hard he's worked in the off season. So I think it's a good sign that he's been named captain this weekend.
Yeah, well, I think it's just another bad call from Peyton not playing him enough, mate. When you finish 12th, you can't argue that he did anything that great, So
yeah, that's right. Well, McKayle's going to get a great opportunity this weekend, and I think he'll be hungry for it. I really do. A couple of players I think everyone needs to keep an eye on for us in the preseason. The young hooker, Xavier Kurzik. I think he had 1 or 2 games last year. Looked really strong. So obviously,
is that the Mackay lad?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Reed Marnie's obviously the hooker, but this bloke could be pushing for a bench spot. It's possible. There is one to keep an eye on. Mason Kira, number 16. He is a young back row / lock. He's another one to keep an eye on. And Ronald Fatolga, number 19. He's a young winger. He's got big raps. So he would be the other one I would say to keep an eye on. So Fatolga, Kira, and Xavier Kurzik. Keep an eye on those lads on the weekend. I think they'll all go well.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
And obviously the young fullback, Mason Barber. Big raps on him as well. Look out. Look out. Just quickly before we go, you got a prediction for the trial game? You got a first try scorer prediction for the preseason game?
Derby's playing, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on the wing, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Robert Derby, first try scorer.
Sounds
he
good.
might come off a kick.
Yeah, I can see it.
Purdue will probably score 3 or 4. Clifford will score a try. We'll win by 20. Put 50 on it. Gamble responsibly. But no, I think we'll win. I think we've got a pretty strong side there, and like just looking them at fan day, they look fit. They look happy. Yeah. I think we're going to come out there and kick the door in, mate.
Mate, I think if you put Clifford, Purdue, and Derby together in a multi, you might win some money. But yeah, look, I'm with you. I think we'll have a nice win. The Bulldogs haven't really named anybody to really, worry about, I guess, so much. I think we'll win probably 38-14 or something. I think the first try is going to come from Zach Labart, and I think we'll see a try from Thomas McKaylee. I think McKaylee's going to score.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too.
McKaylee. A pissed off McKaylee who's going to be the captain.
Yeah. Give me more ball.
Give me some more fucking minutes. Just goes out, fucking runs over him, runs 150 meters, has a big game. Also, good to see Sam McIntyre back. We missed him a lot last year.
Yeah, he's a bit of a Mr. Fix-It, He
is, isn't he?
He tackles his ass off. He sort of goes under the scope a little bit too, the lesser rugby league educated.
Yeah.
But he's hard worker, man. Very hard worker.
When you talk about the Cowboys forward pack, you're talking about, the likes of Cotter, Tamalolo, and Nanai. But guys like McIntyre go under the radar. They work so hard. And someone like McKaylee, he could have a huge season. Like from what it looks like and the way Peyton spoke about him the other day, it looks like McKaylee might be a whole new player. So I'm keen to see how he goes.
I don't think he's a whole new player. I think Peyton just opened his fucking eyes up, mate.
Probably, possibly.
Mate, unless I've just seen something that he was going to become.
Well, McKaylee might be reborn, put it that way. Reborn, I don't know. Keen to see how he goes, but looking forward to it. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up. Callan, mate, it's great to be back with the podcast. And look forward to next week. Should be good.
Yeah, I'll be in the studio. I've been working hard. So,
yes.
You'll be able to see all my Cowboy memorabilia. This stuff here, this is nothing, mate. No.
I'm looking forward to the tour studio next week at the start of the podcast. Should be good. All right.
See you,
Thank
brother.
you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you all for watching. We're back, season 2. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys next week. And go to the Cowboys on Saturday.
Go the Cowboys.